Hello, Colas. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona. Guys, in this episode, I want us to discuss about Sergio Busquets and manager Xavi. Of course, talking about the fact that Xavi have been favoring Busquets, whereas Busquets have been costing us a lot of points lately in crucial games. And I think Barcelona has no choice but to move on from Sergio Busquets, even though he's a captain. Because what we are saying now is Xavi's unwavering loyalty to this Barca man is hurting the team a lot, and Xavi needs to learn. He doesn't need to be stubborn on that. Busquets cost us again yesterday in the Clasico. So I want us to focus on why Xavi has to count so less on Busquets from henceforth, because this loyalty that Xavi is claiming to have for Busquets is killing us. So guys, before discussing it in details, please do ensure to subscribe. If you're just coming across the channel, please subscribe, turn on the post bell notification so you always stay notified whenever I post a new video as we get right into it. All isn't lost this season, although it certainly feels like it after a devastating week that we have had. Now is the time to do something serious, some serious reflection on how we got to this point. Since his arrival, Xavi hasn't shied away from taking on the responsibility that comes with the power of being Barcelona coach in the time of a crisis. His greatest attributes have been in contagious sense of confidence and relentless positivity, instilling belief in the fan base and Barca board alike that he can lead the team back to the top now. In the transfer market, he has been backed completely. President Joan Laporta and Sporting Director Matteo Alemany, who shouldn't escape criticism here either, fought to bring in everyone he asked for and got rid of the ones he was adamant about leaving. Xavi's leadership qualities should be commended. Barcelona desperately needed to believe in themselves, and up to now, they have. The coach's tactical decisions, however, are under serious scrutiny now. Surprisingly, that's the area where many people expected the most, with comparisons to Pep Guardiola and Luis Enrique, and where many present and past players have praised him, especially in comparison to these predecessors of his. At the center of the on-the-field issues, especially in the most important games over the past month, is Sergio Busquets. Xavi has shown tough love to other Barca legends and former teammates, Gerard Piqué and Jordi Alba to be specific. We were to believe that he would give the same treatment to Sergio Roberto, but instead of telling him to move on and insisting that the club not renew his contract, Xavi kept Roberto around while forcefully sending away the young Sergio Dest, who still had the potential to improve under his tutelage. Why has it been so hard for Barcelona to to leave the past behind? Why is it so hard? For one, it was the contracts that Josep Maria Bartomeu handed out to the sacred cows. But if the administration is so willing to put pressure on Frankie de Jong, Ousmane Dembele and others to dramatically restructure their contracts, and more than happy to put serious heat on others to find a new club, why couldn't they have done the same with Busquets? Because Xavi counts on him to be at the center of his team. He called on him again against Real Madrid, even after he was directly responsible for why Barca were effectively knocked out of the Champions League by Inter Milan. Xavi, like many managers before him, have become Busquets dependent to the detriment of the whole team. Like Messi before him, Busquets gives you a false sense of scrutiny that everything is okay. Barcelona are in control most of the time with Busquets at the center of the field. He is the first one to bring the ball out of the back, the one who controls the rhythm, and the one to find the breakthrough. Except for one big glaring problem that has been flashing for the last half decade. Sergio Busquets has always been on the field in many instances of abject failure in the biggest games on the world stage. For every humiliation, Busquets, Piqué, Jordi Alba, and Sergio Roberto were there, staring at the ground in shame. The 8-2 against Bayern Munich was supposed to be a wake-up call. The captains even volunteered to be first ones to step away if asked. Maybe Ronald Koeman should have listened. Maybe Xavi should have stepped in and had the courage to do the same. But in the case of Busquets, no one, not even Luis Enrique with the Spanish national team, have seen that for all of his singular brilliance, the Spaniard may be a relic for the past that's holding back their teams now. Sergio Busquets is in the last year of his contract, so at least there's an exit ramp, right? And if Xavi does the right thing and makes him part of the rotation rather than an undroppable, he will be able to enjoy and appreciate him with the time he has left in Barca colours. But if he continues to stick with Busquets game after game after game, things could get so ugly, with many callers starting to turn on the manager and the player, with all the drama around Frankie de Jong in the summer, and Xavi, of course, being willing to let him leave for the right price. Maybe he should have been prioritizing finding a way to restructure the team in a way that made them less dependent on Sergio Busquets. With the free signing of Frank Kessié and Nico also around, there were in-house options to experiment with. Instead, Xavi spent the preseason using Frankie de Jong as a centre-back, which could have come in handy this week. And the beginning of this season, marginalizing Frank Kessié completely. Anyone else think his style of 4-3-3 is getting stale? It wouldn't be a huge jump to try a 4-2-3-1 with Frankie de Jong as double pivot and Pedri or Gavi like number 10. Heck, Gavi could even play outside on the wing, which would allow for overlapping fullbacks like Alejandro Balde. You could go really crazy and try a 3-4-3 if the centre backs were still healthy. There is a lot of tactical flexibility there with who you choose from the inverted wingers. Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati are built for it. Gavi and Pedri could also try to give it. They can give a try, right? The frustrating part of as a fan is seeing that the more things change, the more they stay the same. Same faces, same formation, and more or less the same predictable tactics. Xavi deserves the pressure he is feeling right now, honestly guys. He asked for this when he knew Barca was selling itself off to finance and ability to win trophies this season. This team was built to beat the Bayern Munich and the Real Madrid of the world. It certainly should have a big advantage over the Inter Milan. There is still time to pivot away from Busquets and steer the team into a new direction that puts them in a position to compete for La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and a European title, even if it's not the one we all wanted, right? Maybe the Europa League. Xavi deserves an opportunity to ride through this storm and show he can learn and turn around the team. Mikel Arteta with Arsenal is an example of what can happen when a club shows patience. Unlike Arsenal, however, Xavi doesn't have so much time on his side given circumstances at Barcelona. He needs to show he can adapt when things aren't working. So far, I think he hasn't. Nobody thinks he hasn't. In fact, everybody thinks he hasn't. Against Villarreal on Thursday, one thing is for sure, guys. Sergio Busquets cannot be in that starting 11. The future starts now, and he isn't a part of it one way or another. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you leave your thoughts down on the comment section below. I'll really appreciate that. See you next time.